Hi, this is Ralph again. We're on the AHdamic Principles, and we've covered the first three of them. That is putting Yah first and His Word first. Number two is providing a home for yourself, both in your physical body and buy land and build a house. Nobody else is going to tell you that, but the Yachty will, barbarians will. Third, the fun one, dance and romance, how to win the heart of a woman, that Yah wants you madly in love all your life. And fourth is another fun one for me because I like business. Most men do. We like making money. We like supplying for our families. And that is the principle of financial wealth, financial freedom. They're really, people talk about financial freedom, but they really mean wealth, because that is the ability to do what you want to do, without having to go and work for money. Now, let me read some of this section because this is so awesome. In verse 89, this is again the first chapter. Again, he commanded them, work hard, but work wise. Work in your passions. Always use what you have, and then Yah will give you more. Now this starts off power packed. Work hard. No place for lazy people. If you're lazy, you snooze, you lose. He made us to work and to work hard. And that's what's fun, is to work hard. But you see, it also is important for you to work in your passion. If you don't work in an area that you love, you're wasting your time. Really, even if it's a part-time job, forget it. Go work in an area that you love. That's number one. And then work hard at it. He says also work wise. That's why we're going to talk today about being wise with your money. When I was growing up, it was like the more spiritual people were always the poorest. The less spiritual people were the wealthiest. Well, that was the time of the unbelievers, and the reason for that is that a lot of people made their money off of unscrupulous and unspiritual things. They made it off of price fixing, off of monopolies. I mean, everywhere we look in America, we're supposed to have a free enterprise here in America. We don't. Why do you think you pay 4 to 20 times more for your medicine than almost any country in the world does? Because it's price fixing. It's called monopolies. Our government's supposed to prevent that. Actually, our government creates that. Why? Because they're based off of who's going to pay under the table, who's going to give me the kickbacks, and which lobby. What those lobbyists, on an average, they make about $500,000 a year. How many of y'all make $500,000 a year? Well, that's what you make as a lobbyist. You know why? Because they're getting it out of your taxes, and they're making you pay. But when we do get to a Yahocracy in America, and we will one day, I don't care how long it takes, we're going to hammer at this, we're going to educate the American people until they finally get it. Vote with our cell phones. Make Washington our secretaries. Pay them an average servant's salary, but no longer are they lords to lord over us and to be slave masters. Right now, you work for 2 years, only job in America. You work for 2 years, you get an income for life. As a servant, I don't think so. No, it needs to be an average job. And Washington, D.C. is one of the most expensive places in the world to live. Why? Because they make so much money, and that money is not what they make. They don't produce one thing up there. They just create laws and reasons to tax and take your money. I want to tell you, when the barbarians finally get in servantship in America, and that's what we'll see it as, servantship, we're going to show you how that the American government can make so much money that they'll send you $4,000 to $5,000 a year, profit sharing. there won't be any taxes. Won't need any because we'll make plenty with the government. And look, with all the resources, natural resources that the federal government has, we will make lots of money. Lots of money. Enough to send you $4,000 or $5,000 a year, minus your taxes. And we'll still be the most prosperous nation in the world. You say, Robert, that's crazy. No, you've just never seen it. Because you've never lived in a nation that was a Yahocracy, that put Yah's word first. We're going to that. Going back, vote with our cell phones. Everybody over 19 gets 1 vote. Everybody that's a parent gets 2 votes. Ministers that are approved and go through and know the principles of Yah, they get 4 votes. And if they get to be 50 without committing a felony, then their votes double. So it's weighted towards the wise and towards the elders. You can't shake that kind of nation. And there is no lobbyist because you got to lobby the whole nation if you want to get something passed. It takes a 2/3 vote to make a law. We get rid of about 90% of the junk laws that we have on our rolls right now. We simplify the entire legal system. We keep our 12 jurors. That's of the scriptures. The 12. Most Americans don't even know where the right to jury trial is. It's in our 7th. 7's an important number. It's in our 7th amendment. The right to trial by jury. By the way, that's been taken away from us now because any judge in any state, to my knowledge, can overturn a jury. So you don't have a constitutional right to trial by jury now. The judge can say no. And I've had several of them do that. And I'm glad I had that experience so I would know about this. Because we're going back to be loyal, patriot Americans, and the Constitution, the law will be first. Equal law for everybody. That's the American way. All men are created equal. Equal under Yahuwah and equal under the law. Well, politicians shaking their boots already. I get death threats all the time. But see this white hair? I'm free. I'm going to live forever. You might kill this body, but you ain't never going to kill Rafa. All right. So how do we get wealthy? How do we get financially free? Well, first of all, he says, work hard, but work wise. Work smart. Now, in the original scriptures, this is amazing. You're only supposed to work 10 years for money. What? That's right. Now, you'll make money all your life, but only 10 years of it is seriously to make money. That's between 20 years old and 30 years old from conception. About 19 to 29, basically. All right. How you do that? We're going to show you right here. It's fascinating stuff. 10 years. 10 years, you can be worth around $3 million. Somewhere in that area. Now, if you do it Yah's way, it really doesn't matter exactly how much you make because we're Yasserel. We put half of what we make, of the profit we make, into a common pool. We invest it, and then after 7 years, we divide it back out among each other. So we don't have any poor amongst us. And our businesses are so phenomenal. Really. I mean, look, I'm a businessman, and I see it, and I still have a hard time believing it. There is an anointing upon our businesses because our businesses work under the law of Yah, the laws of Yah. And they work. You say, Rafa, like what laws? Well, like free enterprise. Freedom. First law. Don't force anybody to do anything. It's all about love. But for love, you got to have freedom. So, don't tell us what to do. Don't tell us who we got to pay. We have one equal tax, if you will, and that's 10% for everybody that runs the nation. Flat tax. If we don't have it, if we don't have money, then we don't do it. As far as the government of Yasserel. And I hope one day the government of America, flat 10%. Boom, and one tax. One tax, 10%. Now, there's a second tax of 10%, but that goes towards your retirement. That's a mandatory investment for your future. That's like a Social Security system. Right now, we pay 17%, and we get, what, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month? No, you're going to do that. You put in 10% with Yasserel, and you'll get back probably around $75,000 a month. I mean, it will be 70 to 80 times more if you do it Yah's way. A lot of the world's not going to listen to the word of Yah because they have listened so much to the pagan religions, they just know they don't work. But as they start looking for no other reason than the finances, they're going to start taking Yasserel seriously. This has happened before. Under Abram, you remember when he became a covenant man, Yah gave him the AHdamic, that's the love of Yah, and he became Abraham. Right? Did they listen to him? Not much. Until he started getting rich. And the scripture says that the cattle of Abraham would start coming past a town, and it would take all day long for his cattle and for his herds to get past that town. By the time nobody ever seen riches like that. They never seen a guy that had that kind of livestock. And they didn't realize all he was doing was going from one side of his ranch over the other. He had a big ranch. But by the time Abraham got there, and he looked at him and said, "Where's this wealthy man? I don't see him." Because they expected a whole caravan of camels, and some guy like a king. And here's a guy walking along with his family, with his friends, with his fellow ranchers talking around, and they said, "Who owns it?" "Oh, this guy right here." "What?" "Well, he don't look like a wealthy guy." "Yeah, but he is." You see, one of the keys is don't be a jerk. Don't be selfish. But it also says share. That's what Abraham did. Every one of our companies that we start, call them kingdom companies. They're built on the same model. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your near ones as yourself. Who are your near ones? Near ones are the ones working with you in that company. So here's what we do. We take half of the profits of that company and we put it into a general fund. That's like an insurance fund, except it's an investment fund. And then we invest that money in the other companies as well. So every company owns 50% of all the other companies. That gives us insulating shock value. It gives us enormous stability. The other 50% is given to reimburse all those people who worked in that company. We don't pay hourly wages except in rare situations when we need somebody to do something, a little job. Almost everybody else, we pay them on a percentage of profit. Because that makes it fun. It makes it enjoyable. We got people that are sweeping the floor over there figuring out how to do something better. And that's how we got last year 417% ROI, which was 7 times more than the brightest minds on this planet. They're trying to figure out how to use people. Yahuwah's already figured out how to love people. Make them your partners. Work hard. Work in your passions. Do kingdom companies. Look, right now, I have somewhere around 114,000 partners. I don't even know. I can't keep up with it. All my adopted sons, they run the companies. I just go and do what Yah's taught me to do, which is teach the word. It's plenty for me to do. And they just call up and say, "Hey, Dad, you need any money?" "No, don't need money." If we could ask for it, we'd have plenty. They'd give me whatever I asked for. But you know what? I believe here in the West that we got plenty to make our own money with. Look at all this beauty, all this rainfall, all this gorgeous land that Yahuwah has given to us. And you're telling me that we can't make ends meet in America or in the West? No, we got tons of it. We got everything. We got energy. We got trees. We got water. We got hardworking people. What we don't have is intelligence, wisdom of how to make it work best. Now, we do have had some great men of history, like J.C. Penney, like Sam Walton, you know, and these were people that learned how to share the pie. And everybody works hard. And now almost every company that prospers greatly, they have profit sharing. All of them do. Where'd they get it from? They got it from those first American reformers and everything that showed how a company that shares, that profit shares, that lets employees be owners of it, they prosper much more than companies that just have employees. It's a huge key. Huge key. You know, every now and then I hear about somebody try to steal something from one of our companies. If I was trying to administrate it, there's no way I could do it. It's too big. 122 companies in 38 nations. No, it's too big. But I don't need to because everybody polices it. Why? Because they're managers. And somebody over there is trying to steal something. Listen, somebody's going to see them. And they'll never work for us again. You know, ever. Gone. Finish. Well, that's why our companies do as well as they do. Now, let me just read to you verse 90. Study the ways to make land, houses, farms, ranches, money, and storehouses fruitful for your freedom, that you may be able to live free and serve me. The purpose of it is to get free so you can serve Yahuwah, so you can do good things. Look, if I had to go out and I had to make money every single day, I couldn't be taking care of kids. I couldn't be translating the scriptures. I couldn't be getting the scriptures out to you. I couldn't be teaching you. I'd have to be doing that. Well, the 10%, the tithe that you're supposed to be giving to Yasserel, and we hope that you start doing that for several reasons. One is you're not going to be blessed. You're not going to have I don't care how financially blessed you are right now. You're not going to have the financial blessing of Yahuwah on you until you start tithing to the kingdom of Yah, to Yasserel. It's for your sake. Second of all, it also blesses the work of Yasserel in buying these ranches and putting homeless people on them, who again are going to bless you because they're going to be working the ranches. Ranches going to be making money. They're going to be providing some beautiful places for you to bring your family to. So it's a win-win situation all the way around. You get to have ranches all over the world that you get to bring your kids to, and working ranches that are going to be in beautiful places. Look, we own two of the highest mountains in the world in North Pakistan. I mean, you talk about, we're going to put a ski resort up on them. We're going to put a kayak course down through it. There ain't no place in the world you can take your family. You say, well, I don't want to go to North Pakistan. Well, you ever been there? Yeah, there's some terrorists up there right now. We're busy cleaning them out, cleaning up the place. But actually, it just made it cheap when we bought them, because right now those mountains are worth 100 times what we paid for them. And but you're going to have a place where you can come that's going to be like something nobody's ever seen before. All right. All this is part of how to do it Yah's way. But it starts out, let's just say that you're the average American. You know, the average American, if he cashed out right now, is only worth $2,100. $2,100. That's right. That's sad. That's very sad. You know, actually, in buying power terms, America had more 50 years ago than it has today. In fact, actually today, the average American is worth is in debt $2.1 million, thanks to our loving Washington, D.C. government, who's making a slave out of you and expects you to pay the bill. Well, I'm going to tell you what, us barbarians not going to pay the bill. They don't like us. They sick the IRS on us and all that kind of stuff. But look, well, I'm squeaky clean. I don't make any money. My companies all are owned by the kingdom of Yahuwah. They make money. And Rafa just gets what he needs, expense money. That's it. That's what he needs. And I live very happy. Well, this says on there, if you don't have anything but just what an average American has, $2,100, let's say you have less, you only have $1,000 you cashed out. Start here. We'll teach you how to buy some land. You say, Rafa, how in the world do you do that? How do you buy it with $1,000? Well, number one is go get some realtors, find out somebody that's in a desperate situation that's got to get rid of some property. They are around. They're not everywhere, but they are there. Or you can do like I've done many times. You go out and you find your realtor and you say, look, I need to buy some land. I don't have any money, but I'm willing to work for it. So you go out and get a partner. And you tell them, look, I want to buy some land. I want to develop it. I want to make a farm. I want to make a ranch, whatever your passion's in. And you get you a partner that does have land. And then you start working it. There are lots of elderly people that can't work the ranch anymore. You can. So go build a partnership with them, and make it where you can work yourself into being an owner, a part owner of that ranch. And you have integrity. You be honest. You work hard, you work in your passion, and it will start working. You'll be amazed how fast it'll start working. And there are lots and lots of people in that situation. You say, well, what about if I just want a house? Well, again, go find you some people, usually a lot of times elderly people, sometimes young people, sometimes handicapped people that can't take care of their house. What they do own? Make them a deal. All right, you got part ownership of a house, but always make it so that you end up owning part of it. Don't rent. Now, why is this so important? Because of inflation. Look, the dollar's fiat money. And the scripture warns us against fiat money. You can use it for a while, but don't put your assets there. Put your assets in something that doesn't erode like the dollar bill does. This year, the dollar bill is going to erode somewhere between 8 to 16%. Depends on how much money Washington spends and the Federal Reserve. But put it in land. That's my favorite. And then put it in a nonprofit name. Then you don't have to pay taxes on it. And we'll show you how to do that. And then make the land fruitful. Make it produce. And then you take that money that's there, and a certain percentage of it is for your living expenses, because you're actually just managing that, so you're do living expenses, and all this is, you check it out with your CPA. All of it is exactly according to the American law as well, but it actually is just using Yah's law. And then you start building it. You say, well, wait a minute though. If I do this all as a nonprofit, I don't own it. You don't own anything anyway, do you? I mean, what, you going to take it with you when you die? No. It's not yours anyway. It's yours. You just are a manager of whatever it is that he gives you, or whatever it is you think you own. And most of what you own actually owns you. So the real issue is how you're going to live. That's the important thing. Are you going to live happy? Are you going to live a fulfilled life? Are you going to be loved by many? And are you going to love many? And are you going to do something worthwhile with your life? Those are the important issues. All right. It says then that you study these ways, get to know how you buy land. And there are many ways of doing that. Partnerships is a great way to start out if you don't have any money and start getting in it. Because inflation is going to be huge in the future. You see, that's why he doesn't want you to rent. That rental cost that you have on that house right now, say it's $1,000 a month, is going to be $10,000 before that much longer. Because the inflation of dollars are going to be enormous coming up. Well, this is the basics of how he wants you to get wealthy. Fill up your storehouse with a year's worth of supply, and then do it for 7 years until you have 7 years worth of supply. Now, in monetary terms, in America today, if it costs you $50,000 a year for your family, 7 times 50 is $350,000. So when you've got $350,000 of cash assets, this is after you have your house paid off, after you have your land, you got $350,000 of cash assets, then you've got enough to be considered financially free. But that's not all you need. That's just financial freedom, so that if drought comes for 7 years, you'll have enough to make it through. Financial freedom would be when you've got enough that will actually, those investments will make you what you normally have. So if you need $50,000 a year, almost any good investment advisor can teach you how you can make 5-6% off of that money, even if you put it in the stock market or something like that. That's kind of lame-brained. You're going to need, 10%, just figure it out. 10% would be $500,000. If you only get 5% return, you need twice that much. You need about $1 million. That would give you about $50,000 a year for the rest of your life. And then you can give it as inheritance to your kids. However, we think that's a not very good investment, because we're used to more of the 50 to 70 to 80% returns. And in the next video, I'm going to teach you how you can do that. Well, this is Rafa. Looking forward and hoping and wishing for you to have a prosperous future. May God bless you.